It's been a wild ride so far, to say the least. Up next, we are going to be joined by SirBorris and ToastedKat doing Spyro Year of the Dragon Reignited Trilogy 3 any percent. That was definitely a very convoluted way of saying that, but I think it gets the point across. This is going to be a really fun run, and I'm going to hand it over to them now. Best of luck.
Fantastic. Hello there, guys. My name is SirBorris, and yes, as just introduced, I'll be running 3 80%, which is basically 100 egg, but for SRT. So without further ado, let's just get the run started, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing here is skipping 3 very, very quick cutscenes. We have to be careful on the third one because we can actually lock the game into a black screen, so I'm going to be a little bit careful there. But at the start of this run, there's about 5 or 6 very, very difficult wall glides that we're going to be hitting, hopefully, in quick succession. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass over immediately to my commentator here, ToastedKat, who's going to take you through exactly what those wall glides are, how they're done, and why they're so difficult. And yes, focus on these first few wall glides here now.
Yeah, so we'll see in just a second. We're going to load in and pick up the first egg that's just sitting on the ground. And then immediately after, he's going to do a perfect hover up a ledge, just like over a rock, to skip a trigger for a Bianca cutscene. We're going to see right here, just a second.
Ooh, it's scuffed.
Nice. And then he's going to jump on this sign and do a wall glide to get onto Sheila's cage. There's an invisible ledge you can land on here. And
Dude.
Oh no.
We're hitting the Nost. This is not good at all.
Yeah, this trick's a lot harder than it seems. You have to find the right invisible corner to be able to glide on. There it is.
Yeah.
That allows him to get up here and grab this waterfall egg early. Saves having to get the super flight power up and fly through the cave a little bit later on. It also just reroutes the order we do all of the levels in this homeworld. And then going immediately into Sunnyville, Boris is going to jump off the side of the map here and do another wall glide on another invisible surface. And a little bit of a struggle. Yeah, the wall glides can be very finicky because they're, visible walls. You can't really tell what you're doing. It's going to get up here to miles instead of having to do the intended way, which is a lot longer.
Yeah, not the cleanest first 3 wall glides, but that's okay. We've still got plenty of run to go where we can make up that time. One thing we do want to talk about pretty early on, and actually it's seen there, is the egg movement post-egg. Kat, did you want to go through exactly what that looks like so I don't mess up the explanation?
Yeah, so when you get an egg, it kind of positions the camera to the side for the cutscene. And then your movement right after the cutscene, once you get control back, is based on where Spyro is standing while the egg cutscene's playing. And it stays locked from that perspective for a few seconds. And then at some point, a few seconds later, it will randomly... It'll go back to the intended controls based on where Spyro actually is. So you have to kind of have the inputs memorized for how to move after the egg for the first couple seconds and know when you're going to get the correct controls back to be able to control that correctly.
Yeah, and that's on every single egg too.
Yes. A lot of eggs, it doesn't matter because you're just going straight or something right after, but for others, it gets somewhat complicated. Right there, did the wall glide again, skip another Bianca trigger. It's the same one, it's still there, just have to go over it a second time. And then into Cloud Spiders.
That's right, we won't be seeing Bianca until we probably get to the third home wall, assuming everything goes to plan, which,
we can only
hope. Marathon, who knows? So far we've missed every single wall glide, so that's a good sign. But that's okay, we make up for it. This is the last wall glide coming up here. We're actually going to skip over to Claire with the 1-2 tap here, and yeah, there you go. We failed every single wall glide. A professional run for a marathon run. But this is probably, I would say, the hardest start. If I look at Spyro 1, you've got, Artisans? There's not really any particularly difficult tricks there. There's a lot of movement. In Spyro 2, Glimmer and Sunny, the total level, Sunny Beach, I believe it is.
Yes.
Quite a difficult level, but outside of that, there's not too much challenge, right? But I think with Spyro 3, you'll find there's quite a lot of challenges just in the first 2 levels alone, but then there's also a lot of RNG toward the last 2 levels as well when we go to Molten and to Seashell Shore, which is very difficult to say quickly. Right here, we're going into a side area just to take out some 2 very quick eggs here. We're going to take out these little ghosty ghouls, all 6 of them, to make the cloud in the middle very happy. He's going to be singing a lovely song for us. And then we're going to try and take out the thief pretty quickly using the flight power-up, just positioning him purposely by taking out this one last. You'll see he's off to the side there, off to the left. if we go into this portal, we can then grab a few gems up here, force his pathing, and hopefully hit him just about here. Yeah, beautiful. Grab Brian, and then we can leave this side area with the 2 eggs we've got here. Last but not least, we don't have to go get Stephanie. And Stephanie is a very unique egg amongst SRT3 in that her trigger doesn't really load in until you kill the enemy in front of it. But, you know, it takes a little while. So we go behind the egg, we go in front of it, we get Stephanie, and we exit the game there, or exit the level. So yeah, very, very finicky egg to try and get on top of. Alrighty, so in this game, if you're familiar with Spyro 3, you know, the aim of the game here is to collect 100 eggs and get to defeat the sorceress. And while doing so, some levels actually have an egg cap. So, for example, the one we're about to go to, Molten Crater. So Molten Crater has an egg requirement of 10 eggs. You need at least 10 eggs to get into that level. We have 10 eggs now, so that's a perfect amount to get in. We're going to get a few more eggs before we actually do go in. But in the game, 2 levels of each homeworld have egg requirements, 2 don't. But this is the only homeworld that will actually see those egg requirements displayed. By the time we get to the other homeworlds, we'll have already gotten into all the eggs we needed, and we won't see those blocks. Right. Next up, Molten Crater. Molten Crater is a level that's pretty much end-to-end. You just run from start to finish, and just collect gems and eggs on the way. There is a little bit of finicky movement when it comes to the first egg in this level, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet while I try and hit it, because it does save a lot of time if you can get it right. But it's just more of that post-egg movement we're talking about.
Yeah, once you get this egg, you immediately have to jump over a lava pit, and then you have to deal with this enemy that's right there. Yeah, so played it pretty safe, but didn't take a hit, so.
Yeah, it's better to just play that safe than to just take a hit, because if you take the hit, there's a chance you take 2 hits, 3 hits, and then you get whiffed back into the lava. It can get a little bit dangerous.
If you do it really wrong, you can just walk straight off the edge of the level and die.
Yeah, been there. Alright, that's everything with Molten Crater until the end of the run. So we will be revisiting Molten Crater because we do want those Thief eggs and we do want the Sergeant Bird egg. But because our gem count is a little bit finicky toward the start of the run, we will have to come back after we've already been through Midnight Mountain. Alrighty, up next, Seashell Shore, but not before we grab Bruce from the bottom of the water here. Very important, we grab Bruce, he's a very important egg. And this is where the run sort of diverges for a lot of people. So I'm going to go into Seashell Shore with the intention of collecting every single egg. And in my head canon, I prefer to think of that as me setting the seals. But in actuality, it's just me being a bit of a pussy and not going for subs too. So we're going to save the seals today. We're going to collect every single egg we can and kill as many run-ups as possible along the way. But some of them they'll just have to deal with. And you'll be thinking, well, how are we getting every single egg if there's a Sheila side area here? We haven't unlocked Sheila yet. We've never met the kangaroo. How
Yeah, who's Sheila?
Yeah, who's Sheila? We don't know yet. So we're just going to jump up here with a bit of a glide hopper. And we're going to purposely get damaged against this wall. And with the second barrel, jump as we get hit. We're going to go out of bounds. And we're going to be able to fly directly into this weird purple portal and find this weird kangaroo. Never met her. Don't know who she is. But yeah, yeah, Kat, if you wanted to explain exactly why we go for this egg and what it actually gives to us.
Yeah, so first of all, he was able to get out of bounds because you take the intentional hit on the first barrel, and then because of the second barrel pushing into you, your iframes and the weird geometry in the wall, you can kind of just like bump right through it, which lets you get through. Also, this is one of the only, I believe this is the only like side area, like for a different character, where the portal is stored underneath out of bounds before you actually unlock them. Usually they're just not loaded in, so they're not possible to access, but for whatever reason, this one is. So we do get to go to Sheila side area, even though we haven't actually paid for her yet or done her homeworld. Yeah, very nice. Fun fact: this is one of the eggs we're doing right now. Is one of the longer. It's like the second longest egg, I think, behind skateboarding too. But the reason we do this one is because 1, it gives a decent amount of gems, and 2, the egg right in front of it is very quick. The one in that little cave. So combined, they average out to be somewhat quick enough to add to the run. And then here's Bluto that Boris was talking about before. This egg is slower than an optimal subs 2, which we'll see subs 1 later. Boris is going to do that. But subs 2 is a lot harder to do consistently, so Boris opts to do this instead.
That's right, and we did get a good pattern for here. So Bluto does have 2 different patterns he can do. Actually, it's about 4. But he's doing his second most optimal one, where he attacks you after he chases you. There can be patterns where he doesn't chase you, and then we don't have the opportunity to actually lay into him like we are right now. So there we go, we take out Bluto quite quickly. Happily as. And now we're back on the route that most people would be going to. We'd be going to this tunnel here to take out the tunnel. Fun fact about this tunnel, The in-game timer actually doesn't count down while you're in this tunnel. So if you're running on console, you can sort of sit in here and go get a snack, bathroom break. I don't think it counts towards your time.
It does
But
not.
unfortunately on PC, we are running loadless. And loadless does count down here. So our snacks and breaks are within cutscenes. Or, well, some cutscenes, not all, unfortunately. But this tunnel, pretty straightforward. Take out all the Rhinox, get the egg, and save the seals. There we go, we've helped out Sandy. Now all we have to do is help out this poor little seal who has his head caught in an octopus. There we go, we save Stanley. And we just have him run out, give us Dizzy, and that's all the eggs in Seashell Shore. We've saved the seals. And I'm quite proud of myself for it.
Snappy would be proud.
Snappy would be proud. Shout out to Snappy, the Snappy Seal. Shout out to Surf OP, who loves the seals. I do it for him. Alrighty, next up in the run is a speedway. And obviously if you guys have been watching this stream for a little while, you've already seen a bunch of speedways. This is despite the fact that it's a speed run, is the only speedway we actually do in this run. Mostly because we want the gems out of it. So we want to get up to about 800 gems before we go into Sheila. Because in the next homeworld, we'll be going to Sergeant Bird very quickly, and we need the gems now. So, plus there's a very fast egg we get here with Hunter, so I'm going to focus up on this speedway because losing one or missing one thing here is going to lose us a lot of time. So we'll try and hit everything we can.
Yeah, so as Boris said, this is the only speedway we do. It actually isn't the fastest. Country speedway can be a few seconds faster if you're doing if you're comparing IL routes. But because the hunter egg in this level is a lot faster than country speedway, and also we need the gems like Boris said before we get to Sergeant Bird, we end up doing this one instead.
Yeah, that's right. Gonna hit these spiders and then head out here. Hopefully the butterflies are on cycle. Love to see it.
Nice.
If I can hit them all, that'd be great. Just alternating between them. Yep, beautiful. Not bad. Definitely could have been better, but didn't miss anything, so we didn't lose any extreme time. Have to listen to a little bit of my button mashing there, even though it doesn't actually get us that faster. And now we're going to go talk to Hunter. So we're going to get Hunter's egg here. This is a very, very fast egg, and since we're here already, we may as well grab it. So it just involves shooting down some UFOs. So hopefully I'm able to hit them, because you can get them all fairly quickly. There's 1, 2, 3. One will come out of this cave for 4. The one at the back there for 5, 6. And then speed up a little bit, and I missed that one.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. Can I hit him? Oh, no way.
Oh,
That'd be just my luck. Alright, we'll just try that again. Beautiful. We might take the last one a little bit slower just to make sure we hit him.
Luckily, this doesn't take too long to retry, so not a big deal.
That's what it should have looked like, but alas. That's right, and we get Sabina for doing the time trial there, so we'll do that. Now we're going to go book back to Cloud Spires, because the last level we have to do here is Sheila's Out. It's easier for us to actually teleport back to Cloud Spires and leave the level from there, and then run over to Sheila's Out. I think we could leave Sunny Villa to do that, but because the Bianca cutscene is still there, we would have to do the hover skip again. It takes more time than just running from Cloud Spires. Plus, there's some gems on the way as well. So there's a few different reasons why we do it, but for the most part, it is the most optimal way of getting to the Sheila's Out.
I think when I timed it, it was like exactly the same, even if without skipping the cutscene, or maybe that was with. But either way, you get more gems and don't have to do the hover here. So
Yeah. And the less wall hovers we have to do, the better. So now we're going to go into this level. We're going to meet this kangaroo we've never seen before. Again, not familiar to me. We've just got her out of a cage, you know. This is our first outing. And we're just going to go through as Australian kangaroo through the Austrian mountains. We're going to collect as many gems as possible because there are some really good gems in this level, surprisingly enough. And we're going to try and help get these billy goats home. You can see they got stuck down there, so we are going to have to wait for them to come up. But first of all, we're going to get off Billy. We're going to get Ruby off Billy. And these little guys are little pranksters. I used to love, as a kid, the voice lines these guys had. Why don't we take this egg and smash it over Billy's house? But unfortunately, in the speedrun, we skipped that line, which is unfortunate. If I didn't have such a tight schedule to keep to, I'd listen to him. But alas, we need to get Jenny and we need to get moving. Right, and last but not least, we need to clear the path for this little guy here. I believe it's Bobby, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to do so by smacking the sides of the house. Not the top, but the side. For some reason, Sheila's toe can clip into the side of the houses. And we can take it out just a little bit faster than what we would if we hit the roof. along the way, we do need to take out the Rhinox to stop them from hopefully spawning. We do get one spawn, but it's not the end of the world. And we're going to collect as many gems as possible. There's a bunch of gems coming out of the houses. You'll see like green, purples and golds everywhere. And we're going to get Nan from Bobby. And that's Sheila's Alp. And that there is the end of the first home world. So now, once we get out of this, portal, we'll be running into Sheila, who will take us to our first vehicle of the run. First of 3, I think. Which
4.
is the hot air balloon. 4.
Wait, no, you're right.
Balloon whirligig rocket. Yeah,
no, you're right. You're right.
I just got like Thatcher effect. Is there a 4th vehicle I don't know about?
I was thinking 4 homeworlds. I'm like, of course there has to be 4 of them, but nope. I'm just done.
Going into these boss battles, there is a cutscene in between each boss battle, and if we do select the option to go into the boss battle too quickly, this cutscene becomes unskippable. So we are being a little bit careful. Obviously, RTA-wise, we're a little bit scared of hitting those cutscenes, so I am treating them with a little bit of respect, you know?
Yeah, it's about a minute and a half, I think, to watch each of them. Or so.
But here's a little bit of lore. Since we skip the cutscene, I'll catch you up. We are fighting a rabbit. This is a rabbit, believe it or not. I know, looks a bit ugly. He likes to spin. It's pretty cute. A little waggly tail. But pretty much what we're going to try and do is stick to the side of the arena so he doesn't have as far to roll. Well, that was weird. I don't know, different direction to what I expected. But yeah, if we stick to the side of the arena, generally speaking, he'll land on the side. He's going to hit us this time because I stood in the wrong spot. That's okay. We can deal with 1 extra damage. Phase 2, he's going to get this fire around him. We're just going to take the damage and hopefully stand in the right spot to not take damage from him coming out. Yeah, he's going to roll around. We're going to follow him out. We're going to do that again, and we're going to be sparksless, so we do need to be very, very careful. In fact, just for marathon's sake, I am going to go back out and get a sheep. And do a little bit of a riskier strat here. There we go. Woo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Have you seen that before? I don't know if I've shown it off.
I have
But yeah,
not seen that.
you can position yourself, even if he's running it, you can just run out and he sits on the edge. Beautiful, and we got a good last roll there. So that's the roll that we want to see for most of the phases. Unfortunately, it's very specific positioning of where you need to sit, so we don't tend to get it, but we can try best. Whew. Not bad. So coming out of here, you'll notice we're coming out on green sparks, which, you know, not ideal for the rest of the run, but it's actually probably the most optimal we have coming out of this fight. And to combat this, we are going to see a game reset, almost, coming into Enchanted Towers. But it sort of doubles, right? So it doubles as we need to get a fast egg, but we also want to do an end of level skip in that level. So we're going to get the egg, and then we're going to leave, which not only gives us back sparks, but then also lets us get to the end of level. I'm going to have to focus up at that point as well. But until then, we just have to get to the level first. So at the start of this level, there is a Bianca cutscene. We're, again, just going to jump over it. We don't really want to talk to Bianca. She's not really important to the story, you know?
Not at all.
Not at all, no. We're going to grab Dave here, and then talk to Hunter, who's going to let us into Enchanted Towers. Well, we're going to let ourselves in, but he's going to give us the means to. And I do have my splits up, and I completely forgot to split, but that's okay. Alrighty, so first things first, we're going to go after the really easy egg up here. Her name is Gladys, and she's just chilling out on this tower over here, so we just have to make our way over there as fast as possible. Collecting some gems on the way, but not too many.
You know a lot of these egg names. I barely know any.
I have played this game far too much. I can tell you the next egg we're going to get, I believe, is Peanut. And he's the end of level egg for Enchanted Towers. But I'm going to focus up on this jump. Do you want to explain charge hover jumps or whatever we're calling them? I forget.
I call them boosted jumps, but yeah. So, as you can tell, we don't really have an official name for them. But what Boris is going to do is get up here to this platform, and then by charging... Oh.
No, I'm not.
No. maybe in the next attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hover too early, you don't get a hover at all, so that can happen. But what Boris is going to try to do this time is if you charge into a jump a specific way, you can carry some of the momentum as well as get some extra height from it. And that will give him just enough height to be able to get a hover to get up on this ledge, and then he can walk right over to get to the end of the level.
There we go. Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Cool. Now we're going to hit these rockets. They're a little bit finicky, these rockets. If I try and hit this third rocket, you'll notice it doesn't light until I hit it a third time. Not sure why. It just doesn't like lighting.
It's all the pieces of the statue get in the way.
Ah, didn't actually know that. Alright, here's Peanut, as predicted. I think the next two are Coraline and Alex, I want to say.
You really do know a lot of these.
It's that didactic memory, you know, that I definitely have. Alrighty, we're gonna head into the Tony Hawk Pro Skater portion of this run. As you can see, we're not actually riding a skateboard. We're riding a little squiddy guy.
Oh, you did do the cheat code.
I did. I thought, you know what, I want to ride a squid. It's been a while. So we're just gonna, you know, Hunter's gonna teach us a few moves. He thinks we're like not professionals at skateboarding already, so he's taking us through the basics. Understandable, you know. But we are professionals at skateboarding, and we're just gonna smoke him out of the water. So not only are we gonna exceed his expectations in training, although I've never landed with a squid, I probably shouldn't have done this. I just realized like it's a little bit different riding on the squid. That's alright. Beautiful. We're gonna get a nasty north there and get his egg. There's a Caroline, not Coraline, my bad. Alright, he's gonna challenge us to a little bit of a skateboard off. And we're gonna just do one of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just gonna give up. We don't really want to challenge him any more than we have to. We're gonna get Alex and we're gonna get out of the level. So that's a very, very fast egg. And while the tutorial for skateboarding is quite slow, getting that egg at the end there and just giving up to get the egg, super optimal. Though no gems like the Sheila minigame, unfortunately. Now, every time we come back here, we do need to skip the Bianca cutscene. But it's not too difficult. It's quite a small trigger to the sides. It's just going to be difficult on our third visit. We're going to get Mingus, our boy. And we're going to go into Icy Peak, which I think, personally, is the second hardest level of the run. So I'm going to put my head into the game here and try and make sure I hit everything. Kat, do you want to take us through exactly what we're doing here?
Yeah, this level is deceptively hard. Like, it doesn't seem very difficult, but it kills so many runs. So right at the start, he's going to flame this TNT and damage himself on it, and that's going to direct the explosion into the ice wall to break it early. So he doesn't have to go get on a cannon and shoot it down. That's the intended way. And then he's going to skate across this ice, a little bit more ice, and this middle section is pretty difficult. He's just gonna go around and collect some gems first, but then there's gonna be another cannon here, and he's going to shoot this piece of ice that like unlocks a whirlwind, and then with a good hover, he's gonna get to a separate section of the level that's like you're supposed to come from later on. But with that good hover, you can get up there and skip having to like go to the end of the level and then go on that separate path. And then once he comes back here, he set the cannon in a specific position because he's gonna be able to stand on a small part of it and do another boosted jump to be able to get up to this egg early.
Yeah, Maynard is a very difficult jump. I'm gonna try again here.
Yeah, there's a very small section. There you go. Okay, nice. There's a very small section of the cannon you can actually stand on, which makes it really hard to get a nice jump to get enough height.
Awesome. Coming out of here now, it's just one more little blow up of the box there. It's going to blow up the ice wall a little bit faster for us. And we're going to go into the thieves. Now, the thieves are deceptively hard as well, I think, personally. They look super easy, but there's one thief, and we may say it here, that gets a little finicky. So this red thief, quite easy. We're just going to stop ourselves up here, jump up here. And this is probably something you did as a kid if you ever played this game. You just took out that red thief. Nice and simple. This yellow thief, though, I'm just going to make sure I hit him. Can juke you pretty hard. We got him, thank God.
Nice.
Yeah, he can run around you, and it's actually pretty hard to hit if you're not careful. But we got him, and now we just have to leave the level, and that's all the eggs we get from there. So that was actually a pretty good icy, despite other than the Miss Maynard.
Went good.
All right. Now there is a cutscene here that does count toward loadless and is really hard to skip. So we did it, awesome, and we also skipped the last Bianca cutscene. So not seeing Bianca till the third homeworld now, unless I royally screw up. We're going to try and get this thief a little bit early here by lining up with the gems. Collect Trixie, and now we're going to release the penguin. We're a little bit under gemmed, but we can still afford the penguin with flying colors. We just have to keep that in mind for when we are going for gems later on in the run, that we are a little bit under. But we might be able to fix that here, depends how well we go. There is a pretty optimal pathing that gets you a lot of gems, but it's very difficult to pull off.
Yeah,
so
the nice thing about...
we're going to pick up the Step Bro. Just the 10 gems sitting there. Shout out to Stepky. Not optimal to route that in, but you know what? It's a nice gem when we like it. We're going to get this 25 out of this pot, and this is a recent addition, actually. Oh, wow, I hit that guy early. This could be interesting. And we're going to try and get this weight all the way down to where it needs to be before the cutscene triggers. We should be able to make it. We usually have a lot of time. Yep. And then if we have extra time, we go for those extra gems, but unfortunately, didn't quite have enough time. Not a worry, we did at least got the weight on, so that's pretty much all we really need to go for there. We get the second weight now, take it over. Place it on the tablet. Awesome. And just take out a few key enemies that are blocking our progress. It's just these flying enemies that you'll see me take out. Everyone else is pretty irrelevant to the progression.
Yeah, there's just
to get his gem.
there's one specific enemy in each section that keeps the hummingbird from moving. So if you just take out that one, it'll move to the next spot.
That's right. And now heading into Spooky Swamp, where we're going to try and do what's called a fly and skip. Has there been a fly and skip through this event yet?
I don't think Groxa did any. And
No, yeah, I don't think so. Well, a fly and skip's a frame perfect trick that isn't really required here, to be honest, but it does save a little bit of time if you can hit it. So we're going to go for it. I missed it. So you can do what you can do is pause as you enter a portal. The game thinks you're in the level, but you're not in there yet. You quit the game and come back in, and you'll be in the level. The reason we do that on this level is because there is a black screen at the start of the level that just sort of appears for no reason. It stays up there for 5, 10, 15 seconds. It stayed up there for a long time for me in the past, so I just tend to leave the game and come back in. I just have to remember that's where my menu's sitting for when we leave this level.
the black screen adds to the spooky vibe.
Yeah, of course. I'm pretty scared. Pretty
Terrified even.
We collect Michael here, and then we're going to go over and talk to and collect Thelonious. I think
that is, yeah.
Yeah, Thelonious. That's right. Then we're going to go get Frank over on this treetop over here. Right, at this point, I'm just flexing my knowledge. Don't worry, I'll run out of knowledge eventually. Yeah, we're just going to come over and grab Frank off this tree, and that's pretty much the end of Spooky Swamp. Awesome, and I actually got a gold split there, just for prosperity's sake. So coming out here, we're going to go for what's called a double egg strategy. So we're going to try and get 2 eggs at the same time, and I'm going to let Kat explain that one as I try and set it up correctly.
Yeah, so there's 2 separate eggs here. One of them is just sitting out on a platform, but the other one you get from breaking 4 of these planters. You'll see in just a second. What Boris is going to do is shoot the first 3, and then when he goes for the 4th, he's going to line up so that he shoots at it, and while the fireball's traveling, he gets the other egg that's sitting out in the open. And because you trigger like one egg and then immediately trigger the next, it's going to warp you from one cutscene to the other and almost entirely skip the first cutscene. See right here.
Modesty. And we get Matt.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, you see, the game gets a little confused and kind of just puts you against that wall there. Doesn't really know where you're supposed to be.
Cool. And with that, we're going to head into Bamboo, which has changed since probably you've last seen the run, if you're not familiar with the run. We no longer go through the level, we just eat ourselves off this cliff. And just go for a little bit of a glide. There we go. Make our way up. A little bit of a difficult mounting there, but that's okay. We get the 10 gem from that guy, and then here we are at the end of the level.
More invisible wall glide shenanigans.
That was actually probably the best wall glide I've done all the run, actually. Thankfully so, because that can be quite a deceptively difficult wall glide as well.
Yeah, we don't want a repeat of your practice run the other day.
Oh god, no. Alright, so we're going to come out here, fly out, and then come in, and we're going to hit this thief nice and early. No, we're not. We're not going to hit the thief at all. We're going to go for the backup of the thief in that case. We're going to miss the backup as well, so I'm just going to die and go for the thief again. So unfortunately, yeah, I flamed a little bit too early there, which resulted in him actually going over the flame. But we can come back around, give it another go. Activate him again. There we go. Grab Pee-wee and head on out. So we're going to get Madison and Dwight now. We're just going to do that pretty casually. Run up the side of the cliff, grab Madison, then come back down and get Dwight. There is a skip to get Madison. It saves 2 seconds if you do it correctly for the first time, but it's notoriously difficult, so we just try not to.
Yeah, it's not even just difficult, it's just very finicky for whatever reason. Doesn't like to work a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's the physics bug, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely a real physics bug.
All right. From there, we're just going to guidebook our way back to the start, so we're right next to the Whirligig, and we don't have to deal with any extra cutscenes. But we also are going to grab a few extra gems here, which I noticed I'm a little bit low, so I must have missed a few on the way. But that's okay. The one thing SRT 3 is good for is gems. The amount of gems you can run into in this game is massively incredible. You could be 150 gems down going to Bentley, and you can still get those 150 between when you leave Lost Fleet and going into Bentley. Like, there's that many. So I'm pretty comfortable. I mean, usually I like to come through here in 420, but 416 is close enough. All right, going into Spike, I might throw to Kat because while this fight is very easy, there's a lot that can go wrong if you're not paying attention. So I'm going to hopefully not get range dropped here either.
Yeah, so as Boris said, we like to call it Randy Rocks because it famously happens to Randy Bobandy very often. But these rocks will spawn from the outside of the arena, and they can spawn anywhere all around it. So if you get unlucky and they spawn closer to Spike and he decides to just run and try and smash it, you can oh, just missed it.
Yeah, just missed it outright. I can't blame Randy for that. That's me.
Yeah, if he does go and like crush one, then you just have to wait for another one to spawn, and it's a few seconds of time loss. And now that he's done with the rocks phase, there's going to be 2 separate phases where Bird is going to drop power-ups. The first one's going to be this flame one, and he drops them on a consistent like timing. So as long as Boris just follows Bird and doesn't take hits, there's going to be no more time loss. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Unless, I missed the purple rock. It is... Oh. That was close. I almost missed it. So the purple rock does have a homing ability, but if you're too close to Spike, the rock will just fly around the outside of Spike, and you're left with this rock that just flies around for the rest of the battle. Now what we're going to do here is run to the side and head bash right here. And hopefully what that will do is get a trick called Early Whirly. We're going to jump on the Whirly Gig, or what this is called the Whirly Gig. We're going to jump on that early, hence the name Early Whirly.
Yeah, if you're just right where the whirly gig's gonna put you like after the cutscene, then it doesn't walk you over, it'll just immediately jump you on. Saves a couple seconds.
Indeed. Not bad. Awesome. So coming into Evening Lake, this is what I believe to be the hardest homeworld of the game. Purely based on a few specific tricks. Charmed is a very difficult level. There's Subs, which is very difficult. And I also count Scorch, the boss, under that umbrella as well. And we'll find out why that's difficult later. There's Bianca, blinking your misser. That's all we're going to be seeing of her, hopefully.
Who was that?
Oh, and yeah, I know. This is a weird bunny. I don't know. I don't really know. Because we are a little bit under gem, we're going to go for some backup gems here. Usually I wouldn't if I was over 420, but I'm happy to just turn around here. There's a few gems behind us that we can get, and then the ones over here that we can get as well. We can drop down here, grab these. And now this actually optimizes the position of these guys as well, so they're not too far apart. We're going to use them just to get over this ice wall instead of blasting it with the penguin's mirrors. And can I get some cat jams in chat for this soundtrack? What a bomb. We're going to do a cheeky little glide over here to get Cecil. And then we're going to do a Jasper wall glide, which is another one of those tricks that is super easy, but if you get it wrong, you're losing a lot of time. So I'll make sure I get that.
Yeah, he's gonna glide along the side of this pyramid here, and there's a couple spots where it will just take you out of the glide and roll you. So you just are trying to keep high enough that you don't want to go too high, or else you'll cancel the glide, and you don't want to go too low, or else you'll roll. So, and if you do miss it, you fall back to the start of the level and have to run all the way back around. So, not ideal.
It's rough, especially if you end up killing those enemies at the start. That's why I leave them alive, just in case I fall down. It would be more optimal to charge off the top of them, and that would kill the big one. And then you'd have to go into the penguin house, get rid of the wall, and then go all the way around it. It's painful. There is a backup that I think Groxu found a little while ago, but it's a very, very difficult backup. It's honestly, I think for me, it would just be faster to go around the level. But we made it out there in one piece, not to worry. Now we get to go to Fireworks Factory, which is another one of those levels with good music. For the difficulty this homeworld provides, it's a pretty bopping soundtrack. All right, we're going to collect Stubby there, and you can see our gem count's back up to normal. We expect to go in here at 110. We're going to go in at 130. 129. I missed that red. But we're quite comfortable now, so I'm not too worried.
I think you mean 629, but yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that number. Numbers are hard.
Yeah.
Nothing too special about this level, to be honest, outside of one very special little dragon. We all know him. We all love him. We get some love for Noodles. There he is, the boy. The man, the myth, the legend.
News.
Our favorite egg in SRT or in Spyro in general. We're gonna attempt to climb this ladder and get to the top. We're gonna basically have to try and get Greta here through the rest of the level. So here she is. She needs help jumping the gap. All she really needs is just someone to, give her a push. And we're gonna take the cannon because we can't jump like Greta can. And now the only real tech here is what's called Sam Skip. And I'm going to be doing that very shortly, so I'm going to leave that to Mr. Cat to talk through.
Yeah, so you're going to see that Boris is going to go into the side area in just a second. And you're supposed to, there's kind of like a tunnel you're supposed to run through. There's a lot of enemies you have to kill or dodge, and it takes a while. But if Boris does this right, he's going to make this run out through the bomb. Very nice. And he's going to damage boost off of it, so he can get up to the seg immediately and just leave. skips having to run through that entire section.
Beautiful. That was actually a really clean Sam skip too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can see we're actually on green sparks again. We've taken a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage abusing in this game. And again, to combat that, as we have in the past, we're actually just going to quit the game. But before that, we're going to go and visit our friend Jank Whale. And our good friend Jank Whale, he's janky because when you try and leave him, he can hold you from anywhere for 2 seconds up to 45. I have seen this man kill runs just by trying to leave. So rather than deal with all that jankiness, we're just going to quit the game and come on straight back in. So we will start back out on the side of the evening lake. We don't have to deal with Jank Whale. Sorry, Jank Whale fans. And now comes one of the hardest challenges of the run. Charmed Ridge. I don't know what makes this level so difficult, to be honest with you. It's just a lot of difficult tricks, jumps, and a lot of enemies that are very easy to miss and hit you more often than not. So I'm going to focus in on this one. Kat, do you want to talk through what we're doing in this level?
Yeah, like Boris said, a lot of the things in this level are just very unforgiving. So, like, he's just going to be running through, and there's just a couple enemies here, but they shoot very quickly. So if you're trying to get through here fast, they can just catch you off guard and hit you.
Yeah, like that guy did just there.
Yeah. Like, a lot of the time you expect to be able to make it before they hit you, and then they just are very quick. But first, Boris is going to do a wall glide here. The side of this rook that's on the ground will, there's like a bunch of it that'll slide you, but if you hover at the right spot, you can get onto the part where you can walk and get up here to get this egg early. And then right here, there's going to be a section where Boris is first going to get this egg up on the ledge, and then he's going to use the fireball power-up to kill one wizard that's moving a couple of platforms, and then another one that's holding open a door. And he needs to do this well so that he can hit both those shots before the fireball power-up runs out.
I hit all three.
Oh, you go for the third one too.
I very rarely do, but today I thought, well, why not? Let's try and show off some skill. I think I hit it. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
The only issue now is that this guy's going to shoot us, so we have to kind of dodge him. It's not a worry though. We can take him out. And we're just going to head into Jack and the Beanstalk, which is another focus area. So you want to talk through what makes this so difficult?
Yeah.
Apparently it's picking up the beans.
Yeah, so there's supposed to be a puzzle here where you like have red beans and yellow beans, and you have either these bouncy mushrooms or like platform flowers. But Boris is just gonna kind of cheese through the puzzles by if you bounce on the mushroom and then go for a glide, it'll let you just do a normal glide, and you can just get up without having to actually solve the puzzle the intended way, which saves a couple of seconds on the first egg. But you're gonna see here he's going to just take one red seed, and he's gonna use it to get straight up to the second egg here. That's gonna skip the rest of the puzzle entirely.
Awesome. Yeah, take out pretty much. I think there's 4 sections that you skip over of like moving beans back and forward.
Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, able to just jump up on the castle, get in, and then we go down here for a little few extra gems. By a few, I mean almost 100. Should bring our gem count up to about 910, I want to say. 910.
Yeah, that one head bash chest has a lot of gems in it.
Oh yeah, it's so optimal to go for. That's why I said, like, Spyro 3 gem-wise, not a tough game if you have at least 880 gems coming out of here. Like, there's so many gems you'll see over the next 2 splits.
Mm-hmm.
But we end the level with getting Sakura. Let the princess ride off with the bad boy biker. And we scuttle from this level, nice and quick, fast. And now we head to Lost Fleet.
I was gonna say, speaking of the gems, we have after Lost Fleet, we have Bentley, and that's 1,000 gems to buy Bentley, and that's the main gem requirement for the run. There is one more thing we're gonna buy after, but it's almost irrelevant. The gems you need for that. So having 1,000 for Bentley is what you want.
So I'm gonna grab that extra 10 there, because why not? It's not too far out of the way, and I know I need to be a little bit comfortable. If I can get to Bentley without having to get the backup head bash chest, that's great. Alrighty, Lost Fleet. Very straightforward level, but easy to get wrong. First of all, we're gonna wall glide along this wall, and I'm gonna bonk on it, of course. There we go. Get up the side, and we're just gonna get to end a level. But unfortunately, Crazy Ed doesn't have wings, so we do have to let him through. We're gonna use this cannon here, trust the shot. Yep, beautiful. It's gonna open up the wall. And then we're gonna use this wall here to go and get Chad. So we don't have to go through the end of level too much at the end here. And then now we move on to subs, which I am notoriously bad at, so look away while you can.
This is like one of the hardest eggs in the game, and subs 2, if you go for it, is probably the hardest egg in the game. So
hardest egg in the game to get quickly, I'd say.
Yeah. So these subs move, they spawn in the same places every time, and they'll always move consistently. And so you're trying to follow their path, and you see the rings, there's like green rings and they turn red. You're supposed to be locking onto the subs, but obviously it takes time waiting for that to happen. So we're trying to just like free shot all of them, and Boris is kind of missing a few.
Yeah, I missed a few, and now I'm waiting for this guy to come out.
Yeah. It can be very punishing if you mess it up, because you have to hunt them down and hit the shots or wait for it to lock on. It could take a while.
Now it's a game of hide and seek, because I have no idea where they are, and they're both there. One just came out there, and the other one's going to come out over there. There we go. Not the worst sub I've ever done, but definitely not decent.
Good cleanup.
That's right. Yeah, it was pretty good cleanup. It's not bad, but yeah, it definitely could have been better. That's right. We make it out alive.
And like we said, subs 2 is what you would do instead of Bluto, which Boris did earlier. And it's just they add an extra sub and the pattern's harder. And they can even block shots sometimes, so.
So now you can see exactly why I don't do it. Get to get these last few gems here, and then we'll talk to Crazy Ed, who's now at the end of the level. He's going to give us an egg. Gonna give us Craig. I love the egg names here. That's just so like colloquial. Colloquial. Words are hard. Alrighty, and now it comes the split just before Bentley. So we need to, before we get to Bentley, we need 1,000 gems. We're at 960, so we need to find 40 gems along the way. And I think on the way there's at least 100 that we can get. So pretty comfortably gemmed. Just have to make our way over.
Obviously, going out of your way to make up gems if you are down loses time. So Boris is on a really good gem count to not lose any time.
Yeah, it's better than usual, that's for sure. Do I just skip the head bash?
If you want to get that 10 gem in the water, you don't have to.
Yeah, I got the 10 gem in the water. She'll be right. I think. Alright, we're gonna go for a jump here called Hannah Jump, and I think I have already missed it, but we'll try it out anyway. Oh, we get it. Awesome.
Nice.
That's a very difficult jump, and it's actually, some people have said it's possible on higher FPSs, but something we haven't talked about yet is the FPS actually controls Spyro's jump height in this game. So where you're seeing jumps being made, some of those aren't actually possible on higher FPSs like 50 and 60. That's why we're running on 30.
And if they are possible, they're a lot more difficult. So you're kind of handicapping yourself by playing on a higher frame rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Nevertheless, we're going to go into Bentley now. We've got just enough gems, and we're going to try and hit what's called Fast Seal Cycle. So I'm going to give it a go. It requires pretty optimal movement through the level. So hopefully I'm able to hit it. Kat, I'll let you take the team through this one.
Yeah, so he's gonna walk forward here and just take out a couple enemies pretty easily. But you're gonna see in just a second, he's waiting on Bartholomew here. There's no way to speed him up, but he is still gonna do this as fast as he can. Just gonna knock the snowball into the gong, and then he's gonna talk to Bartholomew. And if you are in the middle of the dialogue and then skip it while the cutscene's playing, you get control during the cutscene. So it saves a few seconds, and then he's gonna be able to walk right after this egg and just barely catch that snowball to be able to hit the second seal with the first seal snowball, which lets him make this, lets him clear out these seals a cycle earlier than normal.
That was tight.
Oh.
I think I hit the second seal a little bit too far out. That almost led me to missing that cycle. It's all right, we got it. Love to see it.
Yeah, and you have to kill those seals to make Bartholomew move. That's why we do it. Very nice though.
Thank you. All right, to end off this level, we're just going to push a bunch of boxes around. Bartholomew's going to follow us as soon as we move the boxes, and you can hear the sort of click when they make it to the end. That's when we know Bartholomew's going to go moving. So move it and click, and then we'll move this second box, and Bartholomew will go to end the level. Awesome. Off you go, Bartholomew. Good lad. All right, coming up next after this, we do have to talk to Bartholomew here at the end. He doesn't really want to talk to us, you know. And coming up next is one of the toughest tricks in the run. And if you've heard of 3NE for SRT, you've absolutely heard of this trick. And I know I've mentioned it a little bit earlier as well, but rocket storage is coming up. It's the Scorch battle. And because I'm going to need to focus pretty heavily on it, I'm going to give this one to Kat to explain the intricacies and the more recent discoveries.
Yeah, so this trick known as rocket storage, it's probably one of the hardest tricks in the entire series, or in the entire SRT series, I should say. So the idea of the trick is we're going to be picking up a green rocket from this fight, and we're going to be carrying it into the next homeworld. And the way we're going to do that is Bentley's going to be throwing out the rockets for you to fight Scorch with. We want a red rocket to start off with because it's better for actually killing Scorch. And then we also want more red rockets after, because Bentley has a bank of 4 green rockets and 2 red rockets. And when he throws one out, it's like it leaves his bank until you pick it up. So if he throws out a red, he then has 4 greens and 1 red he can throw out. So the goal of this fight is to get him to throw out both his reds and leave them on the field, because Boris is going to try and kill Scorch at a very specific timing, so that Bentley throws out a green rocket right as the fight's ending, and that way it gets it avoids being cleared when the arena, or from the arena when the fight ends, and then he'll be able to pick it up and take it into the next homeworld. So right now he's also manipulating Scorch into just shooting fireballs by running underneath him and immediately hitting him. If you do it like this, he'll throw fireballs every time, which is faster than throwing eggs and having the enemies come out of them. And then I haven't been keeping track of his rockets, but there's 1 red right there.
I have 1. I don't know if I have the second. We're gonna find out. We're gonna pour it anyway.
Oh, shielded just in time.
Too early. All right, that's okay. What we've planned for in this split is 3 attempts at rocket storage. So I have within my estimate, if I did the rest of the run correctly, which I have to the extent, I think, done all right. I have 3 attempts here before I need to go to a backup. So attempt 1, unfortunately, was not successful. Yeah, he had shielded up just before I was able to hit. So
Yeah,
give it another go.
Getting the shot at the right time is very difficult because you're trying to manage the rockets that are on field. They also despawn within, I think, 60 or 90 seconds. I forget which. So you have to manage the rockets that are on field. You also have to be actually hitting the boss as, like, you know, the intended way of dealing damage in the fight. You also then need to get Bentley on a good cycle, because it's like somewhat RNG if Bentley is even on a good cycle to throw a rocket out at the right time. You saw in that last attempt that Boris tried to take the shot, and he shot at the right time, but because Scorch shielded, he wasn't even able to hit him at that time. So just kind of... Yeah, so managing everything in this fight can be very difficult, especially when you're learning it. So like Boris just said, both his reds are thrown out, so now he can only throw greens because that's all he has left in his bank. So if he times the rocket right and is able to kill Scorch at the right time, then Bentley will be guaranteed to throw out a green.
Too early, yeah. Unfortunately, on a bad Bentley cycle there. So we've got 1 more chance attempt at this, and then I'll be doing the backup. We're going to be going back to go visit Spike, and we'll be getting a purple rock rather than a green rocket.
Yeah, I've been getting pretty unlucky.
Yeah, today in particular, I think even in my practice before the run, I was hitting maybe 1 in every 10, and then yesterday I was hitting 9 in every 10.
Can vary so much.
Yeah.
I didn't mention, but this like manipulation was found by Boris from a lot of experimenting he did on his own. So this trick was known about, but used to be pretty much entirely RNG before he found out how it worked. Because before we knew about the banks and what he was able to throw out, it was just you just went for the timing and hoped he threw out a green. But there's still RNG on whether he's on a good cycle or not. It's just significantly less than there was before. And getting this trick first try saves a minute and a half, so for top level runs, it's basically required.
You'll notice I'm having a little bit of trouble keeping him on cycle. It's just because every time I leave to go kill eggs, if he starts moving again, we're a bit out of luck because the red rockets don't actually home in. But I think I have both out in the field. I think 1 is close to despawning, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, you have 2 out right now.
Should be okay, I think. Should do an early throw here, should do a late throw in the next one, and should be good. I picked up a red, we'd love to see it. So now it's pretty much 50-50 as to what he throws out. He started moving again. No, okay. That's right, what we're going to do, we're going to go for the backup, unfortunately. Would have loved to show off rocket storage, but, you know, sometimes the game just says no. There's
Just
two different
pretend.
reasons why we think that is the case. I mean, Kat has a theory that it's based on the amount of time the game's been open. Personally, I hold the theory that it's based on your internal clock on your computer. It's you know, it could be coming from anywhere. But yeah, unfortunately, no rocket storage today. We will be getting purple rock storage though.
This game is an enigma.
Yeah. And I've got
It's okay.
15 minutes to finish the run, so hopefully we should be able to come in under estimate.
It's okay. Everyone just pretend that we did get a green rocket, and it's gonna look exactly the same. He's just gonna be shooting a purple orb instead of a green rocket once we get the crystal.
The other thing we're also going to be doing is hitting Bianca here. So usually we wouldn't be hitting Bianca here, but because we have to go up and get Saki right now, unfortunately we do have to talk to Bianca. Blink and you'll miss it. She's had an outfit change since we last saw her. And now we're going to go for Saki. We get Saki because at the end of the day, when we get the rock, we don't really want to come back up here and risk losing the rock. Almost went to the wrong place. So we'll go get him. And we'll go back to Spike. And it's just the same fight all over again. But rather than hitting him with the last purple rock, we're actually going to hold the last purple rock until he drops, until Bird drops another one. And that's the one we're going to store. And interestingly enough, this fight is actually significantly less... Oh, hang on. Don't hit the rock. Thank you. Had to be careful. This one is significantly easier because the rocks don't despawn when you finish the fight. There's no board clear. So if this was the third boss, we'd be cheering. So much, the run would be so much easier.
Yeah.
But as it happens, it's the second boss. So.
Yeah, so for both Scorch and Spike, if you are able to pick up a power-ups, however you do it, before, like, on your way to riding the vehicle to the next homeworld, then you're able to keep it. The game doesn't take it away from you, because it takes it away, like, once the boss dies. So if you're able to get it after that, then you're able to keep it. And like Boris said, the reason rocket storage is so hard is you have a very tight timing window to be able to shoot him, to like have Bentley throw out the green rocket right after the the arena's cleared of rockets, but right before he isn't able to throw it out anymore. For this fight, he's just gonna wait for like one to be on the ground and then kill Spike, and now you can just go pick it up. A lot easier.
There it is. So now the other thing we also have to reference is that you cannot teleport with these items in your mouth. So it's replaced my breath attack, so I won't have my fire attack until I teleport. But if I wanted to teleport to Midnight Mountain to go straight to Crystal Islands, which is the intent, I would have to now, I would lose the rockets, or the rock. So we do have to go there manually, which means getting in this rocket, going to Evening Lake, getting in the rocket, going to Midnight Mountain, and then running to the portal. Which is unfortunate, but it is, you know, it is the backup we have. It's still, if you go for it without going for rocket storage 3 times, it's still, we believe, saves time over going for 1,000 gems to get the bridge. That's sort of, actually, I don't think we've mentioned exactly why we're doing this, have we?
Well, I think it'd be easier to explain once we get there.
Yeah, 100%. Alright, we'll just jump on the rock here. And we've got a little bit of time here to discuss it, I guess. So going into Crystal, there is a thief in a plane. He's sitting at the end of the level. And usually you'd have to go all around the level and you'd have to pay Moneybag the 1,000 gems to give us what is effectively a giant cinder block of a bridge. It's not even worth it. It's not like anything like the Sydney Harbour Bridge, you know? So the...
It's not even as good as the Glimmer Bridge, and that one's 100.
Yeah, it sucks. So rather than paying Moneybag, we're gonna steal money from him and just skip it all together by hitting the thief with this projectile. It'll teleport us up to the flygate and we're able to fly to the end of the level to skip the bridge entirely. Alrighty, and we're back. So I'm not going to shoot it here because there's a thief over there that it could home into. It's happened before. I'm a bit too nervous to do it. But if I shoot here, you can see I'm shooting purple orbs. So it's replaced my breath attack, and we're going to go in here now and pretty much hit the thief.
Yeah, also for whatever reason, if you have infinite rockets or orbs, whatever you store, you just don't run out of them until you get it cleared from warping, so.
There we go. And because we've teleported to get max, you see we've now got our flame breath attack back again. But that doesn't matter. We've done what we needed to with it, and we've skipped to the end of Crystal Island, so we've saved 1,000 gems there.
Mm-hmm. And the reason we really want to get on the, I was gonna say we really want to get on the other side of this bridge because there are 4 quick eggs that you can get that you would otherwise have to pay the 1,000 gems for.
Yeah, totally. There, it looks like I should have died. It's actually completely intentional. You're able to run on top of this little post and glide all the way to the end, skip the entire slide. And I think there is not a single slide in this game that we actually go down. We skip them all.
You ride that one at the start for a second, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, you know. But I don't think that counts, you know. You get on the slide and you hop off. Mum tells you to get out of the McDonald's playground, you know. All right, we go back to where we actually were with the thief, and this is just to hit the flag gate to get these 2 eggs over here. You'll notice, why didn't we get these before? Because if we actually hit this, we get a checkpoint here rather than end of level, and we'd have to actually go to the bridge to get the slide egg and the end of level egg, so we'd miss out on 2 eggs, which would be disastrous. All right, we're gonna get this egg here, and we're gonna go ahead and leave Crystal Island. It would help if I actually used my splits. This is just for my own knowledge, you know? Right, heading into the next level, we're going into Haunted Tomb. Haunted Tomb, despite what you think an Egyptian level might be, it's not actually run by cats, it's run by dogs. Which I think is probably the joke, right?
Probably.
But we're gonna head over into I'd say the hardest jump in the run. It's become a lot more consistent, but it's still very, very difficult. It's called Torch Jump, and I'm gonna leave SirBorris to take us through.
Yeah, so Boris is gonna perfect hover up to get on top of this torch. Getting the height isn't really the tricky part. It's that there's one tiny little space that you can land on in the back right of this torch, and getting onto it is very difficult and very precise. If you land on any other part of the torch, it'll just slide you off.
Yeah.
I see. I am a.
Not
Full
too
times
bad.
a charm. Yeah, not a hopeful. All right. There we go. And unlike most runners who would go for the slide first, I'm going for tanks first. And there's a reason I do that. It's because in the middle of this level, there is an area that drops rocks on you. And the only reason we used to go there was to collect gems, which we don't need anymore. So I've ratted it out just for my own safety. Or rather, Spyro's safety. Coming through to tanks here. First round's pretty easy, but I am going to switch to mouse and keyboard for round 2. And I'm going to let Kat explain exactly why that is.
Yeah, so you can do this tanks too with controller, but it's easier to aim with keyboard and mouse more precisely. So you can see there's 10 tanks now, and they're a couple of them are kind of far off in the arena. There's 3, one in the front and one on each side, that are hiding kind of behind a pot you can see all the way in the back. And the way to get those quickly without having to go in there and fight them is to shoot to one side and then move to the other. And because the tanks try to avoid you and hide behind the pot, they'll actually just go right into the shot. So you can see right here, Boris shooting to the left, and then he's going to move to the right, and the guy's going to slide right into it. Yep.
That wasn't too bad. I did miss that last one a little bit, but that's okay. Now we head to the slide. And again, Spyro doesn't like slides. Mum said no. We're just going to go ahead and skip it. So there's a little bit of the slide you can just jump over, and then you can glide over the rest, get the egg. And now we get to go meet face to face with the one, the only Mike Tyson. And this man is notorious for knocking us off, so I'm going to see if I can get past him. Beautiful. That is, I cannot understate how difficult that is.
Yeah, that guy, for whatever, he just always knows where you're coming from to hit you off.
It's a difficult one to get around. But yeah, if you time it right and you actually get him to throw, then you can just sort of sneak underneath him and get through. And then that dog behind him also can knock you off, but it's a little bit more difficult. He's a little bit easier to get past, I mean. Right, next up, Dino Mines has a very difficult jump that shouldn't be as difficult as it is, but I have thrown a run on it, and now I'm nervous about it. And we can thank resident ToastedKat for that one. You discovered that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very difficult jump, but it saves you about 15 seconds of running around Dino Mines, so we're going to see if we can get it first try, but I am going to focus on it because, getting around this corner is a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah, so you see Boris is going to jump to the left right at the start here, and that's going to go to an intended secret egg. But then he's going to do an unintended jump right after, where he's going to jump straight out. Oh, no.
Man, it's a little bit early.
Yeah. He wants to jump straight out and then turn and then start gliding. And it's difficult because you need to delay your glide a little bit so that you can turn enough. And also that corner, as you saw, is kind of invisible. You're not really supposed to be out there, so can be hard to tell exactly when to turn. Luckily, you get the egg right before, so if you miss it, you can just respawn and try again.
Indeed. All right, the rest of this level is pretty much just an egg rush. We're gonna get Romy or Romy. I'm honestly not sure. And then we're gonna get to the end of the level, which I think the egg's name is Kiki.
The rest of this run is an egg rush because, like I said, there is one more thing we're gonna buy in Molten Crater. That was the level we said we were gonna backtrack to, but that costs 300 gems, and you get more than 300, way more than 300, even if you don't go out of your way for any gems at all. So you don't even have to consider it.
Menu is a little bit hard. Awesome. That's the end of Dynamite, and that in fact was Kiki. Yep, awesome. Coming out of here, we have 2 more Homeworld eggs to get. 3 more, actually. We'll be getting 2 here. We'll be going to Desert Ruins, revisiting Molten Crater, and then going to Sorceress. So we're almost at the end of the run. And I think we'll be coming very, very close to estimate. looking at my timer right now. But that's okay. We'll see what we can do. So first things first, we're gonna get Eevee. Probably easiest egg in the game, outside of probably the first Isabelle at the start of the run. And then we're gonna get Macon here, who's in the hands of a thief. I'm gonna try and get him a little bit earlier than we should. Yep, beautiful. And head straight into Desert Ruins. Now, Desert Ruins has an end of level skip, but we're actually gonna skip the end of level skip until we come back and revisit after Molten Crater. And that's just where we can save about 2 seconds of movement. It's not that big, not that big of a deal, but it's definitely worthwhile in a run that you're already saving seconds elsewhere as well. We're going to get this butterfly here because we do have the damage abuse coming up. Not there, but all right, we're going to damage abuse there anyway. Awesome. I'm going to get this checkpoint just in case because I have been known to miss this jump. I'm going to damage abuse in this water here. Come up here. I'm going to focus here and jump. And we should be able to get, yep, up here and down. Andy, damn. I got the egg name wrong. Only took to the 4th homeworld. I could come into this. This is the last, like, fully animal friend level we have. We are going to be seeing Sergeant Bird a little bit later. But we're only going to be spending about 2 seconds with him. So this is pretty much the last time we see Sheila. Make sure you say goodbye. And in this game, there are 4 animal friends. But we only really see 3. I don't really know who the 4th one is. He's a bit of an enigma.
I was gonna say, I didn't know there was a 4th one. Who's that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard his name's like Agent 7, I think.
I don't know. Haven't heard of him before.
Maybe Commander 9. Not sure. Hard to say. We don't really see him in this run, so. But that being said, and we only really see Bentley for his homeworld because he is very, very slow. He has a few eggs that we could potentially get. Bit of damage there. Love to see it. But he's just so slow moving that it's not worth it for us.
It's also the fact I don't believe there's any Bentley levels in Midnight, so you'd have to backtrack for any. And since they're already slow, adding backtracking on would be even slower.
We used to have Bentley boxing routed in, but then we rerouted so Bentley was last in that homeworld. Alas, we don't do that anymore. Awesome. We're going to go to Molten Crater now as I revisit. And we're going to get those leftover eggs that we said we were going to get earlier. Because you can see we've got 468 gems. Nice and easy to get through money bags up here. And then we've got that really quick egg in Sergeant Bird. I believe it's Luna. Alright, in we go. And now these thieves can make or break the run. We're going to talk to Rocky there. Oh, Stony. So that when we come back, he's actually going to talk to us automatically. If we don't talk to him, there's a chance he could just walk away. And he's just not interested in talking to us at all. So make sure to hit him there. The thief, nice and early. And now you see we automatically talk to Stony. Yeah.
He just turns into the wall and starts sliding away.
Does his best Michael Jackson impression. Alright, we're going to try and hit Kermit on the first route here. Beautiful. It's very easy to miss Kermit there, and you then have to go for a whole nother lap, which loses a lot of time. But we got him first try. And here's Sergeant Bird, the last animal character we're going to see, just to get this egg right here. Alright, back we go to Desert Ruins. Make sure I don't accidentally auto-split that. Beautiful. And in Desert Ruins, we're just going to get the end of level egg that we skipped before. And we're going to meet someone who's, you know, might be a little bit familiar, but I've never seen her before in any other game. Just do a quick wall glide here. Just get up here. And who other than Tara Croft? A proprietary model, never seen in any other game. Obviously, there's a lot of references to different games in this game. The Sheila level you just saw from Desert Ruins, obviously referencing Crash Bandicoot. Tara there, referencing Lara Croft. You know, lots of different references. And Tony Hawk, of course, the Pro Skater levels. You know, it's just a sign of the times, early 2000 games, you know. But that is every single level we need to go to. So now we just need to go get Billy. And we just go and beat the Sorceress. Now, whoever put this whirlwind off the edge of the cliff here, I have a bone to pick with them. Very genuinely. But we managed to hit it this time. And you'll notice we're on blue sparks. I'm going to attempt to do a fly-in skip here. That's what we did for Spooky Swamp, or attempted to do. But it's a little bit harder. So we'll see if we can get it. No, didn't get it. So we're going to go through this battle with blue sparks. So I just have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of time. And we are coming up on time here. The last hit of Sorceress and the last UFO hit will be time. And as for estimate, I believe I'm going to go slightly over, so my apologies to the organizers.
Going into this
It's only
fight,
about 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Hey, the monkey.
it's the monkey.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
going into this going into this fight on Blue Sparks is actually a little riskier than it seems because you might think, oh, you have 2 hits, then you have a third before you die, so you can play it kind of safe or kind of risky. But if you actually take 1 hit and go down to green, then Agent 9 starts shooting down sheep instead of the weapons to shoot sorcerers with, so you end up losing time to that. So Boris doesn't want to take any hits here.
I'm going to try and... Oh, look at that shot. That was beautiful. I was gonna say,
Very
we're
nice.
trying to try and pre-shoot her. It's hard to tell which way she's going to go, because she does run in multiple different directions. But we managed to hit her pretty well now. And you're 100% right, I need to be careful not to get hit here, so I am going to take it a little bit safer, especially with this attack coming in. Nice, missed the fireball, and then she's going to drop the tank. The monkey's going to drop the tank right about here, so I'm going to jump on, just in time for her to stop her attack. And once again, we're going to try and pre-fire. Beautiful. Just going to let her run us. Attack, hit, attack, and then hit. And last but not least, we'll have UFOs.
The worst controlling of the 3, in my opinion.
Indeed. We actually intentionally switched to D-pad here to avoid having to like work with the joystick.
Yeah, if you adjust it slightly up or slightly down, you can very easily lose track of where you're supposed to be going.
Now, I have to be very careful not to get thicked here, but I am going to do donuts on the outside of the arena. Beautiful hit.
Yeah, by going off the outside above the lava, it kind of... The sorceress loses track of you and usually runs back to the center of the arena, but sometimes she just does whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, and time's coming up on this hit. Time. And there's
Look
George,
at
our
that.
last egg.
Still underestimate. What a
Am I?
mad line.
God
Yep.
damn.
104,
How much?
57. 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yeah! Love to see it. We go through these cutscenes. You can see, there's Bianca. No, just in case anyone wanted to see Bianca. Just in case. And that's the end of the run.
And just for reference, each attempt at rocket storage is 1.5 minutes, so it's 4.5 minutes, plus a little bit of extra cutscene time from Spike. So he really lost 5 minutes to bad luck and still made it underestimate. It's a very good run.
Yeah, it's a very, very finicky run. But if you ever want to try it, any of you guys out there in chat, I'd love to see you guys up on the board. It'd be amazing to see more people running this category because not many people do. It's a very underrated category in my opinion. But yeah, I'd love to see some of you guys up there on the boards.
All right, thank you so much. That run was super fun and entertaining. Appreciate you guys coming out here and showing off a category that, honestly, like you were just saying, I think a lot more people could definitely be more involved with it, and I think showing it off in situations like this definitely increases the interest. So, thanks a lot for that. Do you guys have any other additional shout-outs you'd like to give?
No?
I can give a quick shout. I mean, the whole community's here, right? But I just want to give a shout out to some of the community members who really got me into this. Specifically, I'm looking at Surf most specifically, and I know he probably gets a lot of shout outs, but I want to shout him out again because he is the most friendly person in this community, in my opinion, anyway. So if you ever have trouble, he's always there as well. So, but everyone else in the community as well. Everyone else who runs 3, Logic, to Kat to an extent, Randy, all these people, just some great runners. So yeah, if you ever want to get into it, man, you're already part of the community. Why not give it a go?
Love that attitude. All right, and we're gonna do a quick transition, and coming up next, actually, ToastedKat is gonna be sticking around. They're gonna be doing Spyro 1 from the Reignited trilogy, 120%. So, see you guys all for that.
Hi, I'm Zando Toaster, and you're watching Spyrothon. I think I did that backwards.